This is the last day of this year, and I wanted to make a video to talk about how we are completely dominantly a left brain society where logic is everything. And what Neville Goddard teaches is in so-called logical terms of the mind is absurd. This is why a lot of people just listen to him and they're like, what is this guy talking about? He must be. This is why he was known as Mad Mystic, famously known as. Because people who listen to him, who came from a frame of mind of, you know, religious background of 1960s and 50s, and the logical mind, listened to him and they were like, this is absurd. And we are completely dominated by the left brain. What is the left brain? Basically, we have two hemispheres in our brain, and the left brain is responsible for deductive reasoning, logic, but the right brain is imagination and intuition. And what we really lack in our generation, specifically now, is intuition and imagination. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is reasoning and imagination. Reasoning and surrender to a higher power do not go hand in hand. They are the arch enemies, if you will. And I wanted to convey the message of surrender to your imagination. And a lot of people they don't like the idea of surrender. They think they are surrendering to their desire. They're surrendering to the 3D conditions, and they're surrendering their desire, and they think they will not get what they want. While all you have to do is surrender your logic, your reasoning to imagination or right brain or the feminine energy. This society is completely masculine, and we are losing the way of the imagination. This is why it is. I've noticed that it is the sphere of law of assumption is more. Women are more receptive to that, and men are more. How would you say? They are more defensive about it, because the masculine energy is the predominant energy of logic, and it does not allow for anything spiritual. It thinks it's mumbo jumbo. Now, this is not to say that men can't do it, men can't imagine or any of that. It's just that we are predominantly logical beings, turning into more and more logical beings. And this is why law of assumption is, it sounds very funny to most people. And I wanted to talk about the idea of surrender. So you must surrender your logic, your reasoning to the law of assumption and your imagination. Otherwise, you will try very hard to apply it in your life, and you will see little to no success, and it can be frustrating. It can be frustrating because logical mind is trying to figure it out. It's trying to understand, while imagination is about creating your own desired state, entering into your own desired state. All states are already created and exist in the mind of God. But imagination is creating your scene and designing your end and entering into it via imagination, and then abandoning logic or surrendering logic on how it's gonna unfold. And this is the hardest part for us, especially the modern humans. This is why there was so much talk about faith by Neville Goddard in his lectures. What is faith? Faith is loyalty to the unseen. And by the very definition, loyalty to the unseen or unknown is right is a bullet to the logic. You must abandon or kill your logic or reasoning to have faith. And this faith comes from understanding why the law of assumption even works. Now, without getting too esoteric about it, I have talked about it many times in the videos that this world is a dream-like world, but it's very, very continuous and very persistent. Last night I had a dream where, I don't know if you guys watched the season Prison Break, in which there is a character, Theodore Bagwell, and his hand was cut off. So I guess my subconscious mind was really impressed by this idea. So last night when I was dreaming, not last night, the night before last night, and my hand was cut off in the dream, and I attached my hand back to my arm, and I could really feel the visceral pain in my hand as real as any pain I've ever felt in my life. And I have had surgery, so I know when you're cut off what kind of pain you feel. And that pain was as real as this reality. And part of me was kind of awake in the dream. I know I was dreaming, but at the same time, I couldn't shake off the feeling of the pain in my cut off hand. And I could see some of the veins really getting blue where I attached my hand back to it. Sorry for the gruesome picture, but the point I'm trying to make is, who is to say that that wasn't a real experience? If it felt as real as this reality. And this is a concept known by the ancient spiritual teachers, that this reality is a dream. This is the world of Maya, or as in the book The Kabbalion, the Hermetica says that God is dreaming infinite dreams, and this is one of the dreams in the mind of God. So it's a dreamlike state, and we are not everybody, but some of us are starting to wake up in this dream. We are realizing that something's up. Usually it's trauma that brings people here when they are kind of fed up with everything else. Like they pray, it doesn't work. They try hard to do something, it doesn't work. And then they come to law of assumption or law of attraction from some severe trauma or some severe need in their life that they need to fill. And they come here, and then they realize something's up. And then they go down into the esoteric rabbit hole, and they realize that this world is mental. It's more about the mind rather than physical action. And there they realize that mind can influence matter. And this is why law of assumption works. It would not have worked in a natural physical world where the cause was external. But Neville Goddard released or freed us from the tyranny of the second cause. He taught us that cause lies within, and there is no one and nothing to change but self, because you are dreaming this life subjectively. So in your subjective experience, external things do not have or hold value, because you are subjectively dreaming. So when you change things from your subjective experience, the dream changes. The dream changes to accommodate for your subjective change within. This is why law of assumption works, because this world is dreamlike. It's malleable, it's changeable. And all these concepts can be experienced directly by applying the law of assumption. If somebody has a seemingly unchangeable condition, like some terminal illness, and doctor says that's it, nothing can be done. Recently, I'm sure most of you guys uh, watch Be Something Wonderful, Tom Karen's channel. He's fantastic teacher, law of assumption, and somebody commented there that they healed. I think his recent video talked about a person who healed one of their relatives having stage 4 cancer. So you see, in a normal physical natural world, faith should not heal anything. that sounds absurd to the logical mind. That is absolutely bonkers. Faith, just imagination? Are you kidding me? But it did. And that's your proof that this world is mind over matter. It's malleable. This is why law of assumption works. And so, what is the greatest hindrance, again, in the workings of faith? It's logic, it's reasoning, it's the human logic and reasoning. Because the absolute logic or reasoning or intellect lies with God, and God can make anything happen. Or the all, or the universe, or whatever name you want to give to the ineffable or non-understandable being, out of which the source, out of which everything comes forth. So logic and reasoning is in the way of our faith-based desires that we want to achieve. Faith-based because when you look at the 3D circumstances, they look impossible. Some of them. Well, small desires are not impossible, but most people who come to law of assumption, they're trying to manifest something that is big, and it seems impossible. So you must surrender your logical mind to your right brain, imagination, and faith. And it is a leap of faith. It truly is a leap of faith. What is a leap? You skip a big hole, you jump over it, right? So the hole is your reasoning, which says that it can't be done. And the reasoning, if you reason with reasoning, it will talk you out of everything because it's a master of argumentation. But it's truly is a leap of faith, the law of assumption. And it's the most redeeming, most beautiful work that I've come across. I have read a lot of books, and by far the most helpful work that I have ever come across in my life so far is Neville Goddard and his law of assumption, because he sets you free. He sets you free from the second cause. He sets you free from the external world, and he brings back all the power within you. So this video was kind of all over the place, but truly surrender your logic to your imagination, and then you will see true magic happen. And that will be enough proof for anyone to realize that this works. So this is it for this video. Until next time.